Well, hello everyone. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Veramed Stories podcast. I am your host, Francesca, and in this week's episode, I have Daniil, who is our Director of Programming and Ukraine country leader, and we're going to reflect on Veramed and Ukraine over the last few years. So, hi Daniil, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Hi Francesca, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
Excellent. How has your day been so far?
Yeah, everything is fine. Everything is fine, definitely.
And reminds me of the time difference with Ukraine. So like in the UK, it's 11 a.m. right now. Are you maybe like three hours ahead?
No, 2 hours. Right now it's 1 p.m. in Ukraine.
Okay, so it's just after lunch then.
Yeah, just finished my lunch.
That's not so bad. Like, how do you find the time difference? Like, do you work a lot with like UK based employees?
Well, it depends definitely because really 2 hours difference is not a big deal for everybody in Ukraine, I believe. And most of our programmers, statisticians, and including myself, we start our work at 10 a.m. So it's like 8 a.m. for the UK, and it's absolutely fine.
Yeah, that's not so bad then. Awesome. So yeah, let's get into the episode then. So yeah, I think it'd be a good place to start with how you got into your career. So yeah, tell me about your background and how you ended up in Veramed.
Well, thank you. Good question. I started my career around 15 years ago when I was a student of National Technical University in Kharkiv. And I joined a company who did statistical analysis for clinical trials. And we actually had only one company in Ukraine who did this job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I would say that right now, I am one of most experienced guys in Ukraine who just working in this industry, I would say.
Wow, that's crazy because obviously in the UK, we have so many different companies. You know, you've got the pharma companies themselves, you've got, Veramed type CRO companies. So yeah, that's crazy to hear that there's not so much of that in Ukraine.
Well, yeah, right now it's, I believe in Ukraine, we have quite a lot of different CRO companies, but yeah, 15 years ago, we had only one company. So it's like,
wow,
interesting one. Interesting fact.
Yeah, no, that really is. So is that how you got into Veramed then? Was it just with that initial company or have you worked with like different places?
Well, through my career, I worked for two companies before I joined Veramed. And I joined Veramed 3 years ago. And it was a challenge for me because Veramed expected that I will build like a team here in Ukraine from scratch, from the very beginning. So it was an interesting journey for me, definitely.
So just a small task then, right?
Well, yeah, kind of.
And in Ukraine now, so I started a year after you. So I think when I started, we had I'm probably going to get this wrong. Is it the Kharkiv office first?
Yeah, exactly. Well, 3 years ago in November, we opened our first office in Kharkiv. And second office we opened in Kiev, I believe, at the beginning of 2022.
Oh, so just last year then?
Yeah.
And so forgive me, my, geography of Ukraine's probably not that great. Are they relatively close or are they quite like spread out across the country?
Well, Kiev locates in the center of Ukraine and Kharkiv locates on near to border with Russia, unfortunately, right now. And we have like the distance between Kharkiv and Kiev is around 500 kilometers.
Oh yeah, that's quite a distance.
Yeah.
The funny thing with having grown up in Scotland my entire life is that I forget that there's much bigger places in the world. And like for me, the UK and Scotland is like as big as it is. And then, I hear about Ukraine and, in Australia and different places, and it just like boggles the mind how big these countries actually are.
Yeah, it is weak. It is definitely weak.
But yeah, so just touching on, where the offices are located, I know over the last couple of years, things have been very, very hard for, Ukraine as a country and for our employees in Veramed. It's been scary. It's, there's just been so much going on. How has that been for you and, our colleagues that you like look after?
Well, yeah, I believe everybody in Ukraine remember 24th of February last year when
Yeah,
everybody woke up hearing explosions near to their homes.
yeah,
And everybody started to think if they will be alive in a few hours or a few
yeah,
days. And everybody started to move from their cities to other regions, to other countries if possible, just to make sure that they can save.
yeah. I can't begin to imagine how that must have felt for everyone, and for yourself. That's a lot of people that you now have to look after in a very, very different way. It's not just a case of, oh, do you have enough work? How's your workload? It's looking after a lot of very young people as well. Yeah, how did you feel about that? Like, how did your role change?
Well, our role changed a lot. Well, when I joined Veramed, uh, in a couple of months, we launched our first GTP in Ukraine. And six grads without any
Hmm.
experience in clinical trials joined Veramed. And my role was just to help them to understand the job, how they have to do the things,
Yeah,
and what are expectations after their 3 months of GTP. But right now, like when a lot of different people, experienced people joined Veramed in Ukraine, it's much better for me, I would say, because
yep,
the guys are helping a lot, especially for young people. They share their knowledge, they share their experience with young people. So it changed a lot. And right now, my role not just oversee uh, grads. I would say my role is oversee whole Ukrainian team and make sure that they feel happy, they feel safe, and yeah, they feel like a part of Big Pharma family.
yeah, absolutely. So, like, over the last couple years, then, when the first office opened, was it primarily to bring graduates? That's really, apart from yourself, that's kind of how like Veramed Ukraine started, was mostly through a graduate training program, wasn't it?
Yeah, kind of. Well, at the very beginning, we planned that we have to hire more experienced people as well, who can
Hmm.
definitely help me with the grads. But unfortunately, our market in Ukraine is quite special, I would say, and it took much longer to definitely find really good and experienced people, I would say.
Hmm.
So, and we decided that we will start from GTP, and first GTP was launched on 9th of November 2020.
Hmm.
And as I said, we had six grads in our office, including myself and Anastasia, our office manager. So we had like quite small team, but
Yeah.
very, very friendly team, I would say.
So you said there that we started out with six graduates,
Yeah.
right? How many graduates do we have now?
Oh, good question. I believe around 20 plus. So I don't remember the exact number right now.
Yeah.
So we are growing and I believe 20 plus grads.
Yeah, that's crazy, like that growth for over a couple years because it started out with one office with yourself, maybe a few other people and like six very young early career statisticians to a team of 20 plus across two offices in the country.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's an amazing growth. And I think as well, like for the graduates that come in now, they've got like people their age who have been through the same thing as them, like started in a graduate program. You learn the ways, you learn the ropes, and yeah, it'll be good for new grads to have that experience as well. And I think for like the grads that we do have, I suppose we can't really call them grads now, I suppose.
Yeah.
But if we like give them some good mentoring opportunities as well to like buddy new statisticians and new programmers.
Yeah, every grad was assigned to a mentor and buddy, so they definitely receive a proper help, so they can easily ask any questions. And the funny thing here is that young people, they always afraid to ask questions, I would say. So
Yeah.
they're afraid that their questions will be stupid, I would say, but it's not true.
Yeah.
And
No.
it's definitely a challenge to say these people, listen, there is no stupid questions. So if you have a questions, better to ask them. And we all are happy to support. We all are happy to answer. Not just a mentor, not just a buddy. Everybody from Veramed can
Yeah.
can provide you a support if it's required.
Yeah, yeah, no, I completely like agree with that. Like I know myself when I mean, I had a slightly different route into Veramed, but even in previous jobs, that when you're new, like you are scared to ask questions because you want to impress the people that you're working with. You want to feel like you know it all, and you don't want to, look as if you don't know what you're doing. But I think like asking questions just helps you get like increase your knowledge quicker. And as you said, like people in Veramed, no matter, who it is or where it is, we're always just happy that someone's asked a question, because then we get to like, tell our story. We get to help someone, which is rewarding for that person as well.
Yeah, it's true. It's definitely true.
And like with the team in Ukraine, like what type of work do you guys do? So like me myself, I'm in the launch team, so I do like a lot of analyses that's after clinical trials. So I don't tend to work on the clinical trials themselves. Are they mostly like clinical trial statistician and programmers, or is there quite a variety of different roles that they do?
Well, at the moment, I would say that almost all people are doing clinical trials work.
Mm-hmm.
As a programmers or statisticians, we also have statisticians, very good statisticians in Ukraine in our team. So yeah, mostly clinical trials job.
Yeah, I know a few people like on the client that I work with, they did some like different type of programming, like not on the clinical trial the like as a clinical trial statistician, but programming for like post hoc analyses. And I
Yeah.
think like quite a few people have done a lot with R as well, not just working in SAS.
Well, yeah, we have actually a couple of people who knows R, who did some work on R, but mostly I would say everybody use SAS at the moment.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough, fair enough. And how do you think the grads have been supported since joining? Is there like what kind of things do you have in place for the training program?
Well, the GTP, the training program, takes, I believe, 3 months from the very beginning when Raj joined our company. And everybody receives support like from their mentors, line managers, buddies, and also from more senior guys in Ukraine. Because, English is not our first language. And sometimes
Mm.
when grads are learning something new and they're learning a lot of new things, like about clinical trials, about CDISC standards, about SAS programming in general. So sometimes they need support, they need help in local language. So somebody
Yep.
should explain them in Ukrainian what the things are. And this is what we are trying to do. This is what I did at the very beginning. And this is what we are trying to do at the moment. So sometimes we just translate, I would say, some training sessions to Ukrainian and repeat them one more time, just to make sure that guys properly understand the material, properly understand what they have to do. So this is very important thing. But from other side, everybody receives like a very good English practice because we all speak English. We have a lot of calls. We have a lot of training session in English. So it's also fantastic for everybody to train their English, I would say.
No, I never picked up on that. I forgot about that being in Ukraine. So like in the offices, do you like conversationally like speak in your language, like in Ukrainian, or do you try and keep to English as much as possible just to, just keep that practice up with English?
Well, regularly we speak Ukrainian in
Yeah.
our offices, and when we have like one-on-one calls, we also speak Ukrainian. But of course, at the very beginning, we thought that it will be a good opportunity for everybody to train the English, and we choose one day. I don't remember; it was Thursday, I believe, when in the office we spoke only in English.
Oh, wow.
So no Ukrainian, only English, and it was quite a good one as well.
That must be quite hard though, because like I know with my father, so my dad is Italian, and when he moved over to Scotland, like 30 odd years ago, he could not speak an ounce of English, not one word. And obviously over the years, he speaks a lot more English now than he does Italian. But it's really funny for me because he might be on the phone to his family and it'll be like Italian, Italian, blah, blah, blah. And then just out of the blue, he'll start saying some sentences in English and he doesn't realize he's saying it. And then he'll just like go straight back into Italian as if like nothing has happened. And like I'll be sitting there being like, Dad, like your family's not going to understand what you just said. Like you just said all of that in English, and he has no idea that that's actually happened. So do you have like any funny stories of things like that happening, or are you quite good at separating out the languages?
Not really good in separated languages, I would say, because like I would divide English like into two parts: technical part when we can discuss our job, our ADSL dataset, for example, and talk about
Yep.
SAS programming things, and we have conversational language when you go to a coffee break with your colleague and
Yep.
just talk about usual things, regular things like what you did last night, what movie
Yep.
you watched last night, tell us about your books that you read last night. So something like that. And sometimes, technically speaking about clinical trials, speaking about our job, it is definitely much easier,
Easier.
to speak. And when you need to speak about something different about your life, sometimes it's a problem. Especially it's a problem when you go to a cafe or restaurant and you open your menu and everything in English and it's, I don't know, what is it? So I don't know the name of the dishes.
You're like, I don't know what this food is, but I can tell you the specification of an atom
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
exactly, exactly.
That's so funny. But no, it sounds like the grads like do have, a lot of support, and like in Veramed we have multiple different meetings, like different teams will meet up and there'll be like a mixture of, people from Germany, Ukraine, whoever it may be. And yeah, it just seems like, you know, as you said, like any questions, no matter what it may be, everyone's just really happy to help. And is there going to be like any more graduate intakes this year, or is it going to be next year that the next one is? Like, what's the plan for the Ukrainian team in the future?
Well, we are going to launch next GTP this September, this year.
Oh, September.
Yeah, and the funny story about this intake that we received more than 200 CVs.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, and it was really a challenge to select right people for our company and to interview them because it's like 200 CVs. How we can do this? And within
Yeah.
first couple of hours, when we posted our ads about GTP, about our program, we received like 40 CVs within first couple of hours. It's
Wow, that's crazy.
something amazing. Yeah.
That is crazy. So how on earth do you narrow down all of those CVs? That must be quite a crazy task.
It was definitely crazy because, when you have 200 CVs, you have to open each CV, check experience, check
Mm-hmm.
people's background. And I spent a lot of time with Artem to go through each CV and to make a decision. Okay, this person is good. His CV or her CV is quite good. So let's move on. Let's interview this person.
Yeah.
So yeah, we spent quite a lot of time, but in general, I believe we did a great job. So
Oh yeah, well I can't wait to meet all the new graduates.
yeah, so we are planning to start in the middle of September. So you will definitely we'll meet all of them.
Yeah, and it'll probably bring a lot of new life to the office as well because it's going to be so exciting having so many new people as well.
Yeah, definitely yes.
And I know with the Ukrainian offices, everyone seems like really social as well. Like I'll see pictures in our our WhatsApp on for our Veramed colleagues that, people are meeting up, going for dinner and like going for hikes, and it seems like a really nice social atmosphere that you guys have.
Yeah, I would say that we had it because when war started last year, we were just disconnected. A lot of people
Mm,
moved across the Ukraine. They live in different cities right now, and
yep.
sometimes it's definitely a challenge. But when our offices were opened, we definitely met each other. We had a lot of team buildings, social events. So it was definitely funny.
Oh, that sounds really nice.
Yeah.
And do many of the Ukrainian team like work remotely then? Is that
Well, at the moment, our office in Kharkiv is closed for safety reasons. We have
mm-hmm.
only Kyiv office opened and working
Okay.
normally, but probably 80% of the team is working remotely right now. But
Okay, cool.
but it's not a big problem, I believe, because we already had experience. We had COVID when our Kharkiv
Yep.
office was closed. Everybody worked from home, and everything was closed. So we are quite experienced right now. So it's not a big deal to work from home. Definitely.
No, no, definitely, definitely not. I think COVID changed a lot of things for companies when it came to like remote working and hybrid working.
Yeah.
But it'll be nice when the new graduates join because, as I said, it'll be so exciting. And I'm sure there'll be like lots of social events and just like really some fun things to do and all get to know each other as well.
Yeah. Looking forward for it. So should be amazing.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you want to discuss or chat about or
Well, we really hope that war will over quite soon in Ukraine and
Mhm.
it will be peace here. And I believe we will be all happy to meet our Veramed team members from the UK in our Ukraine offices. So definitely we'll we are going to invite almost everybody, if it's possible, to visit Ukraine
Oh,
and yeah, to celebrate.
oh, that makes me really excited. I really, really hope that we'd be able to do that in the future.
Yeah, fingers crossed in nearest future, I would say.
Oh, hopefully. And yeah, you'll have to get like all the nice like Ukrainian food and Oh yeah, look, I can already see it, how fun it would be.
It will be definitely fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Daniil, for joining me on this episode. Very much enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you, Francesca. Thank you for your time. And yeah, looking forward to see you in Ukraine.
Oh, I can't wait. Cannot wait. So, yes, thank you all so much for listening. If you would like to be notified for any future episodes, please subscribe to us on Spotify, iTunes, or whatever podcast platform you're using. If you would like to know more about Veramed, please visit our website at veramed.co.uk, or you can find us on LinkedIn. If you have any questions about Veramed, please feel free to reach out to myself on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions on the Ukrainian side of things, you're more than welcome to reach out to Daniil as well. We are always happy to help. You can also find us on YouTube and on Instagram at We Are Veramed. So yeah, thank you all so much for listening, and until next time, see you later.